USC is ranked 5th in ESPN's Football Power Index rating system. I want you to tell me in the comments section whether or not you think that's an overreaction. And if the answer is no, tell me why. If the answer is yes, tell me how confident you are in the fact that it's an overreaction and what you think USC's actual rating or end of season record will be. You can probably tell by my beaming smile, I think in part it's an overreaction. Before we resume this segment, some great and free ways to support this channel are liking the video, watching it all the way through, commenting your thoughts down below. I'd love to hear your analysis, sharing the video, subscribing to the channel, and also hitting the notification bell. That way you can get notified when we go live or release new content. And don't just hit the notification bell for the channel. That's very helpful. But what's also helpful and free and useful to you, if you are a diehard fan of a specific team and want to get notifications whenever I make content about a specific team, not just my content in general, well, we have playlists for every Power 4 college football team, so the notification bell in any of those playlists you are interested in. If you want to support the channel financially, there are ways to do so in the description, and you can sign up as a paid member. But I also think there are some legitimate reasons to believe that USC is a national title contender, and with more confidence and certainty, USC is a playoff contender. I want to be serious and say that the Trojans are definitely a playoff contender. They've played like it through 3 games, preseason research, Lincoln Riley's history, the trends they were taking in terms of progress post-Grinch, I think showed they were a serious playoff contender. A title contender is something I did not expect them to be this year. I do think FPI is probably a little bit too high on them, and I want to see how they play in some bigger games. So this game against Michigan State this weekend, I think, in terms of quality of opponent, will be a tougher test than Purdue, for example. If Michigan State scores as many points in USC as they did Youngstown State, and there's a world where that happens, and USC wins because they score in the 50s, then there are questions. If USC comes out and wins 63-10 over MSU, then I think there's a really good chance, based on the first 4 games, you're looking at a national title caliber team. We'll have to see, though. I want to see some more games than just this weekend's game at Michigan State, but I gave that example to say that USC's trending in the right direction, and I'm confident they're a top 15 team, but let me lean into the reasons why I think they could be a top 10 team, or maybe even punching at that top 5. Maiava is their biggest reason. What has been the strength of a Lincoln Riley quarterback? Offense. More specifically, quarterbacking. Well, Maiava right now is first in quarterback efficiency with a 94.3 rating. He's averaging 14.1 yards per pass attempt. You know, USC didn't play extremely well against Purdue. They still averaged 10 yards per pass attempt. So Maiava and the connection that he has with Jacoby Lane and Makai Lemon, I think is special. I think that he right now is night and day different in a good way from who he was in 2024. He doesn't make the same turnover-prone throws. He's a much better decision maker. He's clutch. He's confident. He is playing like a top 10, top 5 quarterback right now. And I will confess, I did not think he was going to play at this level. I thought that Maiava sort of was who he was, that he'd be a nice, good, great, top 20, maybe top 15 at best quarterback, but it'd be very hard for him to actually be top 10. Maybe that opinion of mine is right, but as of right now, it looks like I was too low on him. So that was my bad. Again, we'll have to wait and see. It's still early in the season, but if the way he's been playing continues to be replicated, that's a big reason to believe that USC can win bigger and better things than just some good regular season games and maybe making the playoffs. Maybe they could make it to Indy. Maybe they could win a playoff game or 2, or maybe more than that. Again, I think it's way too early to say that, but I'm giving some benefit of the doubt to FPI and trying to be charitable in this video. Explosive offense. They're averaging 9.5 yards per play. That leads America. Don't think there's much else to say than that. They have an NFL receiving core, at least their duo of Makai Lemon and Jacoby Lane. Behind that, I think that it would be helpful to have others emerge, but Those are the two main guys that you should know about. And then they have Waymon Jordan, Eli Sanders, and Brian Jackson in that backfield. USC is running for 7 yards per carry with 12 touchdowns, 720 rushing yards. King Miller has emerged at running back too. You look at receiver, Lake McCree is third, tight end in receiving yards. Zacharias Williams has 80 receiving yards on 3 receptions. It's mainly the Mekhi Lemon, Jacoby Lane, and Lake McCree show right now through the passing attack. And then USC is 103 carries already. They're averaging over 30 carries per game. And that is when Riley's offenses are at their best, where they're running 55% of the time, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. And you play off that insane rushing attack. That's when they're at their best. The defense is only allowing 0.231 points per play. I think it's going to be a better defense than last year. I genuinely believe that. They've had some issues so far. Yes, I think rushing defense is still a concern, but I do think at the end of the year this will be a better unit than it was last year, and last year was Lincoln Riley's best defense since 2020, and it was his best defense at USC. Last but not least, they've had an impressive start. Through 3 games, they are plus 0.65 in adjusted expected points added per play. First in college football. So expected points added takes into account how many points you are expected to score given where you are on the field. And I think what down you're on. Like, first and 10 from the 50 is going to get you more expected points than first and 10 from your own 1, for example. Being in the plus means that you are doing a better job moving down the field per play than teams are expected to on average. And usually, almost always, that leads to actually scoring more points and therefore winning in a dominant fashion and being one of the best teams in football if you are really high, kind of at the end of the bell curve on the positive side in adjusted EPA per play. And adjusted means opponent adjusted. So it doesn't matter that USC hasn't played a weak strength of schedule. These metrics are trying to adjust for that the best they can. That's something that PFF, which I love, doesn't do a great job of. They don't really do a good job of adjusting their player grades or even, I think, position grades for opponent faced. I think that's why a lot of people overrated Clemson. That's why I kind of overrated Indiana last year in their big games against Ohio State and Notre Dame. You have to be wise with those type of grades and adjust them for the schedule they've faced accordingly. But this metric from Game on Paper, the people who I think invented EPA per play, they factor that in. And USC has looked phenomenal there. They are a very efficient monster. So those reasons, if they stay constant and USC is playing better competition while they stay constant, then yeah, USC is not just a playoff contender, but a national title contender. I'm not going to go that far yet. I'm going to say as of right now, I still don't think they're a title contender. Just look at the sports books. But I will say I do think USC is definitely a college football playoff contender, and there is a world where they make it to Indianapolis and play in the Big Ten championship game. Thank you so much for watching this segment on College Football with Sam. Before we close out here, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share this video around, comment your thoughts and analysis down below so I can read them and reply to them if I have the time. Members get priority replies, but I try to reply to everyone. And also hit the notification bell for the channel and also for any team playlists you are interested in. If you want to support the channel financially, you can always super chat me in the comment section, but I prefer that you sign up as a paid member of the Patreon page or as a YouTube member, or that you can purchase some wonderful merchandise to represent us. I'll see you all soon and have a fantastic